Let me hold on. Wait.
All righty.
All right. Where are my notes here now? Here we go. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, July the 9th, and I'm glad to be on the call with you and Dan and all of everybody. Thank you. As usual, the slaughterhouse of failure is not in my destiny. I will persist until I succeed. Well, today we've got several things that we want to talk about, and one of them is the abundance mentality and working as a team regardless. So I want to start off by giving a shout out to Jim Trainer. Jim Trainer is not in my team or in Linda Howard's team or in Mike's team or in Dan Burke's team. And yet this week when Linda Howard called and she said she had a doctor in Atlanta that would like to see the scanner, immediately we didn't hesitate to think about Jim Trainer, because somebody that we can trust. And this is where the business comes into, where we have an abundance mentality. And an abundance mentality means that we are not looking on the scarcity side of it. We're looking on the bigger picture, and we're looking at people that are in a team. Like all of you on this team, all of us on this team are people that consistently are on these calls where we can learn to know each other, trust each other. This business of trust each other is huge. And where we can ask somebody to say, listen, I've got somebody in Atlanta, would you mind? And actually Jim took the trouble to actually take the scan and drive over to see this doctor. So that is going beyond and above and beyond. And I really want to give a shout out to Jim, because that is really what this is all about. Thank you, Jim. And on behalf of Linda, who you'll hear from in a minute, and Michael as well, we appreciate your help and thank you so much for that. That's very, very nice. We appreciate that a lot. Today we're going to just, since we're on the subject of Linda, I wanted to chat a little bit about Linda Howard. And why Linda Howard? Because Linda's doing this work part-time, and we'll hear from her in a second, and she will become a Ruby this month doing this work part-time. And she's a person that is very, very disciplined. She's organized, she's competitive, she's focused. And, when we find out who she is, then we understand why she is like she is. So she started off as an accountant and she didn't like that work, being locked up. So then she decided that she wanted to do something else. So Linda, good morning. Would you please make yourself known?
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Lawrence. Good morning. And in my sincere gratitude to you, Jim, thank you so much. I am super, super happy that you were able to do that for me. And I will be happy to return the favor whenever you need. So, yeah, so I kind of, I'll try to make this as short a story as possible, but I always was a advocate and always looked for ways to keep myself healthy. I started out with myself. Myself was my goal in health and wellness. And once I had graduated and I spent a year working for a CPA firm, I quickly found out that was just not my thing, to be sitting behind a desk. So I decided I would shoot for being a gym rat instead. And I started working out. I started my own personal training business. I was a competitive bodybuilder for 4 years. So I kind of took my body to the extreme, but it also helped me understand and help other people reach health and fitness goals as well. From there, I went into the business end of the
Hey,
health.
sorry, I want to interrupt you a minute.
Sure.
So to become a bodybuilder, what does that entail? Think about it. It entails discipline. It entails focus. It entails being competitive. It entails thinking about your food, your time, your organization. All of these things are part of the personality. That's why I was talking about Linda, and I thought, well, to be, she flipped over it. I became a bodybuilder. Well, what does that mean? So always look behind what we hear and try and understand who that person really is and why that person is. Sorry, Linda, carry on now. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, yeah, I mean, you're right, Lawrence. I mean, that's a whole nother level, in especially with nutrition. And, I learned very early on that nutrition is a good 80% of your success in regards to anything. And especially with working out. Working out's not that hard if you understand nutrition and you get that correct. I weighed and measured everything for 4 months before a competition. And I knew exactly how many calories, what percentage of calories came from proteins, carbs, and fats. So it's very precise process. So, but hey, I'm glad that I did it. It helped me obviously along the way. And if you want to see, I don't know if you can see this picture.
We can see it.
That's one of the pictures, and then I have another one where I think this was my last competition where I won some trophies along the way, obviously, but I never got any money from it, but that's fine. It was the experience that really helped. So, but anyway, when I had my personal training business, I also incorporated a nutritional program. There was no one that I sold a package to that did not have to, that was exempt from that. So, and it also had a supplement plan with it too. So ironically, but anyway, from there, I managed health clubs for 15 years. So I did get into the business side of things, and that was a challenge. It was a very stressful job. As a general manager of a health club, I worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and I did that for 15 years. My day off was typically on a Sunday and Christmas Day because the gyms were always open. From there, one of my personal trainers that worked for me had a client that I used to sell his.
Sorry, interruption again. Here's something again. Very often in corporate America, when people like their jobs or they do something they like, the companies often take advantage of that. And they say, oh, just ask, John, he won't mind. He loves doing this. And so John does an extra 3 hours of work, not paid for. And the companies take advantage of people in the corporate world when they know that somebody likes doing what he or she does. So in this case, we're talking about 6 days a week. Think about it, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, for a number of years, 17 years. Think about that. That stressful? I mean, seriously? So there again, look at the person we're talking to. We're talking to someone who's in a lifestyle that is, they like doing it, but I mean, really? And then when they see another possibility, they say, oh, I never thought, it didn't have time to think about that. Go ahead, Linda.
Sure. So one of my personal trainer's clients had approached me. He owns a durable medical equipment company here in Tampa since 1978. very well established, approached me and asked me to, come and take a look at his company to see if I wanted to work there. And that was in 2010. And I politely declined because I just didn't want to sit behind a desk. However, once the Valley Total Fitness got bought out by LA Fitness, things went downhill in regards to financially and everything else. And he approached me again at that point, knowing that, and caught me at a vulnerable moment. So I did actually jump on board with him in 2012 in medical device sales, which I actually still do. And then here we are. I mean, I met Michael. We met on LinkedIn. I saw his posts. We connected somehow. I don't even know how, but I started seeing his posts about, the opportunity with Pharmanex. I was like, yes, too good to be true, blah, blah, blah. I kind of, looked at it here and there. And then finally I said, you know what? What's it going to hurt? What's it going to hurt to ask, right? Because obviously I was searching for something that would give me the ability to have more freedom, not to be micromanaged, several times during the day. And, how many calls did you make? How many did you, it's just not my style. I don't need my hand held, so to speak. So I reached out to him and he told me about it. And I was just like, wow, it was definitely a wow factor for me, knowing the industry in supplementation and nutrition and understanding, that people need to be educated. People need to be educated. Doctors need to be educated, and all about educating. One of the things I do in health and fitness is I am a master instructor for the indoor cycling company Spinning. I teach certification courses and continued education classes. So I'm all about educating, and the more impact that I can make, even if it's one person at a time, even if I don't know about it, it's okay. I know I'm making an impact. And that's what I wanted. And that's what that I was looking for. And so when Michael and I spoke, it was just a matter of me, okay, let me just do my due diligence for a week or two. I did that. And I was just like, this is a no-brainer for me. I see what we have. And every day that I do this just seals the deal for me mentally more and more. So, I don't know, that's where we are right now. And I totally, enjoy everything that I do. And again, thankful to Jim for helping us out.
So, interesting thing here now, as I mentioned, Linda's doing part-time. And part-time means that the rest of the time she's working in her current job, which won't be for long, supposedly. Okay. But then the thing is, that's why she's got people in South Africa and in Hawaii and in California. Why? Because of the time zones. That's being creative. It's looking outside the box and saying, well, it's only 7 a.m. in South Africa, or it's 5 o'clock in the evening in California, while here it's 8 o'clock at night. So it's being creative. It's looking out, being outside the box. And a kudos to Mike Cook as well, because Mike has understood this leadership role and has helped Linda, without being without micromanaging in any way, understanding her independence, understanding the mentality of the person, and being able to guide her and help her. So Mike is obviously the president of her fan club, and I've been relegated to the vice presidency, but that's okay. Linda, we love you, and you're doing a fantastic job, and congratulations. And it's about discipline, mindset, focus, hard work, and desire to know what you want. So anything else you want to add to Linda, or Dan, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, actually I do. Linda is one of these people that is a joy to have on our team, first of all. But we talk about the things that make you successful in this business: consistency, having discipline, having a passion for what we're doing. And Linda has all of those attributes. She shows up to all of the calls, all of our team calls. She shows up to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday calls. These are the things that we talk about on a regular basis. And I just want to point out that, she's a living example of those things that we talk about. And when you actually put those into practice, then you're going to see success. And so for those people that are on the call that may not be seeing a lot of success, I encourage you to be more disciplined, be more consistent, and start getting on these calls as frequently as you can, because it's a part of the process. And having that part of the process and then putting that into practice in your own life and your own business is going to help you succeed. So kudos to Linda and Michael and Lawrence and Jim Trainer for helping out this week, because I believe they actually placed that scanner with that physician that Jim helped out with. And so, just wanted to point those things out. And I think it's important for everybody to understand that. And especially if you're going through a lull in your business, reincorporate that consistency and that discipline into your daily life in this business, and you're going to start seeing success.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. We did get a signed agreement yesterday from the doctor. So
Good
thank
job.
you, Jim.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was awesome. Everything went really well.
So I think what we'd like to mention now is we're right on this week on the collagen thing, the subject of collagen, the subject of a new launch. So I don't know if you've seen this video. Dan, I don't know if you've managed to, if you can.
Yes, I can. Let me pull it up here quick. Sorry about that.
Jen Bagby from New Skin, and it's just going through it because we did discuss the points last week and so on. My little bit to this collagen codes would be the way to sell the collagen would be, are you interested in your beauty and your health? If you are, give me $3.33 a day for 90 days. And you will get a code for the product, and the total cost for that is $2.97, and it comes to $3.33 a day. You can do that. It's your health and your beauty.
Yeah, so I'm just going to pull up a quick video of the director of digital tools at New Skin. I don't know if you've all seen this, but it's basically going through the process of how these codes are going to be distributed, who they're going to be distributed to, and then how you share those codes. So, coming in this next week is going to be very important for all of us. So we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page and knows how this whole process is going to work. It's about, I think it's 9 minutes long. So we're going to play that quick just so everybody's on the same page, and then we'll be back to you.
Our regional director of digital tools, we're going to turn the time over to you. Thank you.
I'm so excited to tell you guys some of the new things. Now, we have trained on the leader preview tool before, but pay attention because there are some different things that we're going to talk through here. First, though, I want to talk through some of these things that David just talked about, some exciting things. We are going to allow both Rubies and brand reps who sell through their whole allocation in the first 48 hours to receive additional allocations. So you can get even more access to the preview the more you sell in the first little bit. So I want to quickly go through, this is just kind of like an all-inclusive slide of sharing and purchasing and how those things begin and the pricing and everything. So I'm going to pause here for just a second on this page. So we have a sharing phase that begins on July 9th, Friday, July 9th at 10 a.m. A reminder that sharing lasts throughout the entire process. So sharing doesn't end. Sharing ends when the entire preview is over. So you can share throughout the entire preview. We will start purchasing on Wednesday, July 14th at 10 a.m. Mountain. The additional allocation that I talked to, so those accounts that qualify who have sold through their, those Rubies and brand rep accounts that have sold through their entire allocation by 10 a.m. on Friday, will get an additional 20 for Rubies, and brand reps will get an additional 5 by the end of the day on Friday. And then the purchasing ends on Wednesday, the end of the day on Wednesday, July 21st. So let's talk through the tool a little bit, and you've seen this before. If this is your first preview though, you may not have seen this. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Where do you find these collagen products, right? So we're having this exclusive preview. Where do you find them? So the easiest thing to say is they are on newskin.com. When you log into newskin.com, you will see this notification pop up that says you have been allocated these products. That will happen on July 9th, that when the sharing window opens. You can, of course, dismiss this message, but it will persistently throughout the entire preview be available at the top in the header. Next slide, please. So once you click on that, you will want to know how to share your allocation, right? So pretty simple. Click on Manage My Product Access and then Share Access. And then you will go through this process of being able to share access to individuals. You'll search for their name, search by their ID, which I'll talk about in just a second. The differences on that, how much you would like to allocate to this person, how many units of your full allocation would you like to share with this person, and then go ahead and confirm that. Now pay attention. Who can you share with? Okay, this is different if you participated in previous previews that we may have had with Nutricentials. You can share with any ID. It's super important. You can only search by name if they're actually within 6 generations of your team. The easiest thing, if you have the ID number, then you can go ahead and share with them. You're limited. We can't search by name the entire organization. You can imagine how stressful that is. So we have opened it up. This is different from before, where you can share with anyone if you have their ID number. So this person may be your upline. This person may be not within 6 generations or within your breakaways brand rep 6 generations. So if you have their ID number, you can share with them any account type. Who can't you share with, right? So this is a US only collagen launch. So it will be only US IDs, only being shipped to US addresses, US IDs. So any ID outside of the United States will not be able to be shared with. Of course, if that account has chosen to not share their contact information, if they have their privacy flags on, just like some of our other features that you will not be able to share with them, that is off by default. They've chosen to turn that on. An important piece, if you have been, say you received 5 and someone else shares a 6th one with you, you cannot reshare that 6th allocation that was shared with you. Basically only a 1 transfer, if that kind of makes sense. And the privacy settings, as always, can be changed in BMG. So how can you reclaim product allocation that you already sent to another person? Maybe you send it to someone and they're out of town, they didn't see it. And you obviously want to sell through as much of this as you possibly can, right? So click on Review Shared Access, same area of your Manage Your Product Access, right? You can only reclaim this if it has not been purchased. Once it's been purchased, of course, it's been claimed, right? Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So this process is very similar to sharing, right? You will see who you've shared with here. I've shared with a Jennifer Jones, of those Jennifer names, right? And you can go ahead and reclaim. You can reclaim just 1 unit. If you shared in this example, for example, shared 4, you can just take 1 back, you can take all 4 back, whatever that is. Next slide, please. Also, if someone is not able to use this and they're like, oh, I'm not going to really be able to purchase all this, they can return it to you as well. So it's both sides of the coin, right? If you're not hearing something from someone, you haven't seen them purchase that yet, you're getting a little nervous, you can go in and reclaim that, allocate it to someone else. If, of course, you received one and you're not going to be able to use that, you can return it back to who gave it to you. Same area, clicking on Manage Your Product Access. You'll click on returning the product allocation. And the screens are very similar here on the next slide. I'm just choosing what to allocate and returning that. And then you'll be notified that you don't have any products remaining if you do in fact return everything. And as always, you can return one or the full allocation, depending on how many you've received. Okay, and finally, how did we purchase this, right? So I mentioned the purchase date is on Wednesday, July 14th at 10 a.m. So prior to purchase, you'll see a grayed out button for the example here. It started on January 28th. This is obviously for placement here. But the black add to cart button will go live and you'll be able to purchase up to as many as you have not shared with others, right? So if you want to purchase all 20, yeah, you can purchase all 20 or all 5 as well. Again, only US IDs can purchase collagen products. I want to make sure to emphasize that as something of emphasis in this launch, and also something that is enforced. So if you're seeing different things, that is something that's enforced on the back end. Okay, because we went through it so quick, because Tana, so much great information. I want to go.
Our Regional Director of Digital Tools,
I want to make sure to emphasize that as some offer, right? Because we are limiting this to a leader preview. Using my side and product offer will be part of the normal launch in September. This is obviously not available on subscriptions because this is a leader preview as well. Just to go quickly through who you can share with again, remember, you can share with anyone is the easiest way, especially if you have their ID. If you don't have their ID number, they do need to be within 6 generations to find them by their name. They need to be in your genealogy. It can take 24 hours for any brand new account to appear in the search. So if they signed up right away, you may have to wait just a little bit of period of time for them to appear in the search. Who can't you share the product with? You can't reshare any allocation again. Has been shared with you. Just one-to-one transfer on that. If they can't have set their privacy settings to not be able to share or be seen, then that will also be taking effect. So I'm super excited about this new enhancements to this tool. For those of you who have used it before, it's a great tool. You can kind of track where things are at. And it's available to use. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited about this product. It's so exciting. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to David.
So that was, hopefully that was useful for everybody. There's a few changes that have been made, but generally everything looks like it stays the same. So just wanted to make everybody aware that as this launch starts to move into the phase where we can actually sell product. One thing I want to just mention is that she mentioned it goes live on 10 a.m. on July 14th. That's Mountain Standard Time. So just want to make everybody aware of that.
Yeah, so it's noon our time, noon Eastern Standard. So the other thing is that they've also increased the allocation for rubies and above. If you sell the first 20 codes in the first, I think 48 hours or 24 hours, they give you another 100. So I do not think there will be a limitation on codes. If we really get our teams together, what I would recommend is that you have a little huddle today with every member of your team, and each one of you make a list. If you haven't already done that, you should have already done that. Make a list of people that each person can offer these codes to, excuse me, offer these codes to, and today's a day to really put this thing into action. It's actually to put the thing in gear and move forward. So if anybody's got any other questions, Dan, if you've got anything else you'd like to add, or
I want to add. I'd like to add something. I don't know if you noticed. It was just a side note that she mentioned there on the form that she was showing, is that it can take up to 24 hours for a new customer to appear in your downline. So if you have an order for someone, go ahead and make them a customer the day before, or a distributor, or a brand affiliate, whichever the case may be, so that when the ordering does start, their account is established. You can go right into it and place the order.
Good point, Michael. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, thank you.
Last thing I wanted to quickly remind everybody, or if you didn't know, the promotion for being moved up to brand rep has been extended into July. I'm sure you were aware of that for June, but that's been extended to July. So you now only need 2,000 points if you're a brand affiliate to move up to brand representative. So if you have anybody in the pipeline that's serious about the business, you can share these codes with them. If they can get out and drum up some business, you can share. If you share 9 codes with them, that'll get them enough points to become brand rep this month. Or they can do it by placing a scanner, or however we normally do it. But this is a huge advantage because normally we need 6,000 points. We only need a third of the points for the rest of this month to move people up to brand rep.
Yeah, and actually, just in simple terms of the points, 5 codes would be $1,485. 10 codes would be $2,970. But what you're doing is that's 2,250 points. So if you but if you place 10 codes, you've got 2,250 points. And if that's the base of an ongoing consumable product, and that's where you maintain your minimum level of points to maintain as a brand rep. So place 10 codes, you become a brand rep, 10 code sharing blocks, you become a brand rep, and there's your base to maintain your position. Obviously you have to build on it, but that's where it is. Okay. Anything else? Anybody?
I think I have anything else, Lawrence. Thank you, as always.
Well, thank you. Thanks everybody for being on this call. I hope you got something out of it. And once again, Jim, thanks for your help. Linda, well done. Congratulations. I think you're going to be your Ruby this month. And Michael, thanks for your continued leadership with everybody. Dan, of course, we love you. Thank you for everything you are and what you do and how you are. So thanks everybody for being on the call.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah, I'd just like to add.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
I just like to add quickly that Linda's fantastic. I'm very proud of her. She's a hardworking individual, and she did what was necessary in the beginning. She dove in deep. She understands everything, and she really just reaches out occasionally. Mike, where can I find this? Do we have this? It's because she does her due diligence and she works very hard. Pleasure to work with you, Linda.
Yeah, good job.
Wow. Now I'm much happier I helped her.
Thank
Good
you,
luck
Jim.
with it, Linda. He seems like he's got a good practice there. So that should be really good for you.
Thank you, Jim.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And Jim, next time you go to Thailand, make sure you do ride the tuk-tuks. They're noisy little things, but they work.
Oh, I've ridden the tuk-tuks all over Thailand. They're fun. Actually, I was riding them in India a couple years ago. You got to ride a tuk-tuk. They're fun.
Good. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Cheers.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, Lawrence. Bye, Dan. Bye, Jim.